Don Westfall and Dan McCarger back in downtown Mankato the last time tonight before we close out this broadcast and get things set for tomorrow night. But Dan, we have a 5-2 win to talk about. We mentioned it, kind of Coach Hastings said the same thing. Kind of a workmanlike effort. Not really flashy, but effective. And obviously, you put 5 on the board. If it's 5's boring to you, you got something wrong, because the Mavericks, again, just a very workmanlike effort.
Well, 3 games in a row now the Mavericks have put 5 up on the board, and as a goaltender you could get used to that. As a head coach you could get used to that. This team, if they score 5, they're not going to get beat. It's just not going to happen the way they play defense. They don't allow shots on goal. Again, it wasn't the high flying up and down the way they did against Ferris State on Friday night last week, but they got up early and then they just snuffed out this team.
Mavericks with goals early in each of the 3 periods tonight. 3 of the 4 different lines scoring goals tonight, so we got a lot of stuff to bring you as far as the highlights of the game, Dan.
And I'll begin with Bryce Gervais at 3:03 of the first period. He misses the net, grabs it behind the net, tucks it in for the first goal of the night from Leitner and Utsi to make it 1-0. Then on the power play, Conti for Alaska Anchorage from Cousin and Johnson at 7:31 ties it up. Then very late again, a miss by Utsi. Hunterbrinker knocks it back in to make it 2-1 after 1 period of play. Coming up in the second period, the only goal of the second period was a rocket from Casey Nelson. The pass from McClure, Teddy Bluger with the assist at 1:14, and that was the only goal scorer in the second period, and it's 3-1 Mavericks after 2. Now we go to the third period of play. We'll see a goal for Brett Knowles here with a great deflection off a shot from Utsi. He dove in front and got a hold of that one.
That's the goal coming back by Arcadia that made it at that time 4-2, but the Mavericks would make it a 5-2 finish.
And Leitner from an odd angle. It looked like at first that it might have been deflected by Bryce Gervais, but it was Leitner with the goal. And he finishes off the scoring tonight. He has a goal and assist. Mavericks 5-2. Shots on goal, 29-25. Power play, Mavericks 2 for 4. The Anchorage 2 for 6, I believe, is the official number. 10 minutes of penalties for the Mavericks, 8 minutes for Anchorage, and face-offs even split on the night, which is rather rare. The Mavericks usually dominate face-offs, and tonight didn't even split.
So the Mavericks kind of like the face-off, not necessarily dominate, but they were really never threatened tonight. They got those goals earlier. It was 2-1 after 1. And, you know, one of the things that was constant about the whole thing is a guy who's going to end up being our player of the game. You know, night in and night out, you can get a great effort. Matt Leitner, the senior, he was, thanks to David Schuyler, and we have to mention our producer, he was the guy to watch during the pregame show, and he indeed is our player of the game tonight.
He's so good. His hands are so good. He sees the ice so well. He knows where his teammates are. Bryce Gervais, he finds them all over the ice, and we'll get a look at Matt Leitner right now doing what he does best.
And our J. Beal Real Estate Player of the Game, Matt Leitner. For your information to contact someone at J. Beal, let's go all the way to the top. Jason Beal is the guy tonight. Contact Jason at 507-381-1060. J. Beal Real Estate Group does the little things that make a big difference. And Matt Leitner, goal and assist tonight. He's 2 assists from tying the all-time record Division I with assists. He only has Aaron Fox in front of him. He's picked up 2 more points tonight. Now 12 points behind Aaron Fox to lead Mavericks. This is a guy who, by all rights, again, certainly is a guy who has the opportunity to play some hockey after this one, but he is the guy night in, night out that you can really count on. You know you're going to get that kind of effort from. He's the guy that could be one of those guys that's going to take you a ways in the playoffs.
Certainly he is. If you look at all across college hockey, no one currently has more points in college hockey in their careers than he does. That tells you everything you need to know. Over the last 4 years, he has been as good as anybody in college hockey, and he certainly, as we mentioned, he is such a good passer, and he's so unselfish. But as you saw there, odd angle, he can still put it in the net.
Guy's now 152 points in his career, 105 assists for Leitner. Those totals, as we get about a month away here from the end of the regular season, we'll have to see where he ends up. And before we end up our broadcast night, let's take a look at some of the out-of-town scores around the WCHA and college hockey.
Tech holds serve tonight, 3-1 over Bemidji. Bowling Green continues Ferris's tough season, 2-1. Superior and Alaska are scoreless in Fairbanks. UMD beats Northern Michigan 3-1 tonight. Denver leads Colorado 1-0. Gophers up 3-1 over Ohio State in the second period of play. Penn State beats Wisconsin 5-2. Boston over UMass Lowell 5-2. Boston College over Merrimack, you see there. Yale shuts out Harvard. It's Vermont over New Hampshire. And Quinnipiac in overtime over Cornell. A very exciting 1-0 final.
At least they didn't go to the draw. That's always important. You don't want that dreaded 0-0 draw. We've seen it twice here, but tonight Mavericks again score early in each of the 3 periods. Goals coming within the first 4 minutes of the periods, and they end up riding out. Was a very consistent, workmanlike effort again, a 5-2 win tonight, and we'll see if they can come back tomorrow night and have the same type of effort and the same results, looking for another sweep. Again, with our understanding of the math going into it, Mavericks now have assured themselves home ice for the first round of the playoffs, but they continue that march down to the McNaughton Cup.
I'm not a math major, but I feel reasonably confident saying the Mavericks will be having home ice for the first weekend of the WCHA, and then heading on to the Final Five from that point on.
So again, our final score here tonight in front of almost 4,000 fans in the building. Dan McCarger, myself, Don Westfall, and the students from Bethany, we're all here to watch it as the Mavericks win the first of the 2-game series against Alaska Anchorage. It was Minnesota State Mankato 5 and Alaska Anchorage 2. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, the pregame show, 7:07 the face-off from downtown Mankato.